The previous episode's highlights open with John looking like his immune system lost custody and Keith calling a parent-teacher conference.
A couple observations. I love you, but you look like hell. B, you don't have a cigar. And
I know, there's no cigar today, dude.
That cigar was his emotional support dragon. Without it, the whole morning feels medically unsupervised.
Okay, so I gotta find a way to be the parent in this situation, brother. You've checked in. When it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go back to bed. So you gotta go when it's time to go. You've showed up. You've checked out. You're so reliable. But dude, I'm feeling bad for you right now, man. I'm feeling horrible for you.
Yeah, this is not there's all different types of not feeling well, but nauseous just put you. It's like you just want to kind of curl up and do nothing to wait for it to go away.
Nausea is the only illness that makes every adult negotiate with a bathroom tile like it owes money.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's funny because so you're getting shit from the entire community now. Petro's like, seriously, J.A. looks like hell without the cigar.
The chat saw one missing cigar and opened a walk-in clinic in the comments.
Yes. Well, you're synonymous at this time in the morning. The smoke is flowing, the face is shining, and you're hunched over. And dude, I know nausea, man. Yeah. So here's a serious question: is cannabis not smoking it, but so when somebody is showing me yoga or somebody is showing me how to do something on the screen, I fail. Look at this dude, man. He's doing fucking 8,000 things at once. He's actually walking, juggling a ball, holding a bottle, and masturbating at the same time.
Keith accused that man of advanced multitasking, then immediately edited himself like HR walked behind the monitor.
Oh, no, sorry, not the masturbating part. He's walking, holding the bottle, and holding a bag and he's dribbling the ball all at one effing time. That is a skill.
Skill? That is the exact opposite of me carrying groceries and forgetting how doors work.
Thank you, Joseph. I like you being here. Where are you joining me from this morning? Joseph, this morning on the Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Joseph's in the comments. Oh my goodness, this guy here is hilarious. Japanese ex-principal slept with, guys, get this, man. We're not talking Will Chamberlain. No, we're not talking anybody like that. Japanese ex-principal. This guy slept with 12,660 women. 27 years.
12,660 is not a body count. That is a Costco receipt with consequences.
Dude, 30 years of sleeping with banging broads, 30 years, 12,600 women. 147,000 photos kept in 410 detailed albums. Yes. So let's look at the dude. He looks like he might be from our generation, right? So the guy was banging 12,000 women, and we're talking pre-Tinder, pre-Bumble, pre-OnlyFans. Like, Petro, Yuhei Takashima, he admitted to paying for sex with over 12,660 women. But here's the worst fucking part. So let's laugh and let's giggle. Let's laugh and giggle about that because it does become very gross really quick. The guy was arrested for doing bad shit with underage people. And that's the fucking gross part.
Hard stop. That part is sower behavior, and nobody needs a comedy coupon for it.
So, yes, it's humorous that the guy was just banging people, paying them. And here's the thing. And I guess, truthfully, here's what brought my attention to it. The guy's from the Philippines. And we know Jimmy was in Japan a few weeks plugging holes. So I was like, fuck, man, did we find Jimmy's album?
Jimmy catching a stray from 3 countries away is why live shows need seatbelts.
Was this pre-Jimmy? Like, was Jimmy just a principal in his previous life before all the crazy shit happened? I don't know. But anyways, Yuhei Takashima, 12,660 women across the Philippines in 27 plus years. Man, 147,000 images. Yes, good time. Exactly, Jimmy. Hey, Petro. You know, Gene Simmons apparently got after quite a bit too, I think, right? So between Gene Simmons, Wilt Chamberlain, and Yuhei Takashima, there's a lot of activity going on. All right, speaking of that,
brother, I'm going to tell you what it was. And again, man, I'm always honest because it's important. My granddaughter visits us a lot, and my wife was videotaping me on her cell phone.
Yeah.
Recording. and I waved to her. And on the back of my arm, the tricep was like giggling like jello.
Yeah.
And my granddaughter and my wife are looking at the video, and my granddaughter says, "Look, Papa's got jello."
A grandkid can turn a tricep into gelatin and your entire self-image into a garage sale.
And my wife said, "You know, you used to be in really good shape. What happened to you?"
Your wife asking what happened while the arm jiggles is basically Yelp for your fitness era.
So it was those two things. Embarrassing. I was like, holy shit, she's absolutely right. So that I said, man, maybe it's vanity. I said, I got to get back into the gym.
That is awesome, though, man. That is awesome. So we got the granddaughter saying Grandpa's got jello on his arm.
Once your arm gets a snack nickname, the gym stops being optional and starts being witness protection.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I only got one fucking lung, little girl.
Yeah, one long enough, man. I'm getting hit. Yeah, I still have some pride left.
Yeah. So here's something fun for you guys. 8 things you did not know about doggy style. Yeah, that's the one we're going to get after this morning here. But Kai, that thread's not opening up for me, so I guess I'm not dropping you the 8 things that you didn't know about doggy style this morning here. So that is a segment that is flopping live on the air right now on Mornings in the Lab. We can be a little bit better prepared for that one there in the future. We're going to come back to that one. 8 things you do not know about doggy style sex. We can get that one with Johnny because that's not working for us this morning. Okay, I see her there. Yeah, I see her there. Her name is Cheryl Whitaker. She's wrapped up. It starts with joy. She's thinking, really, I'm going to join this conversation after 8 things you did not know about doggy style sex.
Nothing says morning productivity like a sex fact segment failing because the thread refused to participate.
Yeah, and Dwayne's like, yeah, she is.
How am I so disappointed that we're not going to do it?
There we go. Yes. Yeah, it's good that I didn't have the text in front of me. It's good that I did not have the 8 things we did not know about. But I know the first thing was you can break it. I know for a fact that a large percentage of men, I don't have the stat here, actually, if you guys can grab me the stat, but the first risk for men is you can break your penis in doggy style sex.
Wow.
Yeah. Because the man can get vigorous, the man can get, into it, and then the man could just miss it, and all of a sudden it's like it's broken.
I don't even have one, and I'm feeling pain.
Cheryl has no equipment in this fight and still took phantom damage. That is powerful television.
I know somebody who broke it. His name's John Anderson.
Oh, God. That's horrible.
We'll have to ask him about it sometime. Ask Johnny next time how much it sucked when it broke one time.
No, and John's not here. I'm late. Get my sucking.
You're going to jail.
Remember Scared Straight?
Yeah!
You get Scared Straight.
How about Block Parent? Remember Block Parent?
No.
You don't remember Block Parent? Good time. Did you have Block Parent? Where you can go into a neighborhood and you can look in somebody's window and they had the Block Parent sign. And if they had the Block Parent sign, it was a safe house. That's a bizarre world.
If this broke your morning in a good way, watch the previous episode. The full show is up next. Today, we're going after the lie that alcohol is relaxation. Because for a lot of high-performing men, that drink is not helping you recover. It's quietly stealing your sleep, your energy, your edge, and maybe your personality after 8:30 p.m. You don't need a drink to take the day off your shoulders. You need better habits. Only on Mornings in the Lab.
Good morning and welcome back to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Your live morning show for real talk, motivating content, and big conversations. Come hit the like, come hit the subscribe, and come jump into the comments. Come check into the show. Come say hello. Mornings.live over on the Mornings in the Lab Live Network. Get up, build a streak, and show us your proof that you are up. The real story, nation, is that the media we are creating is becoming more programmable. Personality is becoming scalable, and character and the universes we create, well, that's becoming infrastructure. Boo. Hey, too many guys drink because they don't know how to transition from work mode to human mode without chemically pulling the emergency brake. Yes, I said it. I got to get home. I got to grab a drink. No, today we're going to talk about what it looks like to build a better shutdown routine, one that does not involve pretending a glass of beer, a glass of wine, or a shot of whiskey is that personality trait. But first, you know where you're at. Good morning and welcome back to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, your live morning show for real talk, entertaining conversation, and a little bit of motivating content to help you guys get your ass out of bed and not hit that snooze button. Welcome to the big show we call Mornings in the Lab. Hey guys, just a reminder, this is an X-rated experience. Yes, we like to, my wife told me yesterday, she's like, you guys are pretty raw. You guys offend a lot of people. I'm like, yes, we're doing our job. We're the show for the generation we call X. We talk about all the stuff that we grew up with. We offend all the people we grew up with. And you know, I was watching some stuff this morning, and it's no wonder that some of us are fucked up the way we are. Yeah, I was watching an old school bit with Homie Don't Play That with Marlon Wayans and In Living Color. Dude, some of that stuff that we watched like 20, 30,000 years ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. And you're expecting me to have a different view today? Okay, well I can grow up. Hey, I got an epic spot with some old school Chris Farley on the show this morning. I got to put it up there. We had Tom on the show on Monday, and I found something we can have a little giggle about this morning. Hey, coming up on the show, you guys, we got a big one. I'm expecting Anderson to be here. I know he's not feeling very well. He was under the weather yesterday. Nick Friedman, the Sharks. Yep, Dragon's Den. The Sharks. Shark Tank. The Sharks said they'd never hit $10 million. So what did Nick Friedman do? He said, fuck it. I'm going to do $300 million instead. Yes, this guy. You go on the very first episode of Shark Tank, the Sharks tell you never build a multi-million dollar company. You know what he does? He goes and turns it into a $300 million company. Coming up on the show, Nick Freeman, joining myself and John on the big show we call Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Let's have a pause and welcome to whoever's in the lab. Good morning, Rico. What is shaking, my brother? Good to see you out there this morning. Good to see you out there, Sullivan, as well. I know you're out there. Jess, Dwayne, Brahmed, Holroyd. I know you guys are all out there as well, including our man that starts the whole network off at 7:30 Eastern time. His name is Matt Roof. So good morning, everybody. What a shaking nation. Hey, quick reminder. I like getting after this one. We got a few things for you guys to remind yourself about. We got the daily poll here today. Hey, guys, what's your primary go-to? This is actually a true story question. Yeah, hey, Holroyd. How do you wind up at the end of the day? How do you wind down at the end of the day? Rico, what about you? Sullivan, what about you? What about you, Dwayne? What do you guys do to unwind at the end of the day? And no judgment. If it is a glass of wine, if it's a beer, if it's something that might have a little bit of alcoholic intake, no judgment, just having the conversation. What do you do? Do you have a drink? Do you hit the gym? Or do you masturbate? Kai's like, wait a minute, that wasn't one of the poll questions. No, wait, it's one of my poll questions this morning. So do you have a drink? Do you hit the gym? Or do you, as Charlie would like to say, do you rub one out? Yeah, 100%. There you go. And hey, what is one healthy habit you can start tonight that truly rewards your body for a hard day's work? I'll tell you guys, man, when I got a tough day, sometimes there's nothing like rubbing it out. Jimmy knows what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Hey, Jimmy, how's that monitor this morning? Boom, boom. Yeah, so every now and then, man, sometimes it takes 8 seconds. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes. Just got to rub it out. You feel better. Yeah, just rub, make it feel better. Yeah, coming up. Hey, did you guys know that you guys can lose your memory after going for a dump? Yeah, I learned that from Kai this morning. Yeah, our very own resident dump master, not John Anderson. Kai's on the buttons. Kai and Johnny, we got some knowledge this morning, guys. Woman loses years of memories after having a massive shit. Yeah, and actually her name's not Kai. So to those of you that are new on the show here, one of our producers, Kai on the buttons. Yeah, she's the dump master, 100%, man. So she's actually arm wrestling John Anderson for that one. So coming up today, woman loses years of memories after she shits with excessive force. I don't even know how to communicate that one. I got some wonderful words of wisdom this morning as well, dropping on the table to see if you guys can resonate with those words of wisdom. Oh, yeah, there we go. We got Dwayne dropping at the end of the day. Watch something light and joyful. Oh, so what's Dwayne watching, I wonder? All in the Family? All in the Family? Hey, Dwayne, yeah, you're watching All in the Family with Archie Bunker? Yeah, we got Holroyd saying, giving new meaning to the term. Yes, shitting my brains out. Oh, I like this one. Rico, watch Jeopardy at 7:30 with some bourbon once in a while. I love that. Yeah, good choice. Oh, are you a bourbon guy, Rico? Just a nice glass of bourbon, eh? Hey, teach me, Rico, teach me, seriously. So is it neat? Is it over ice? Is it, so I want to learn. Dwayne, Seinfeld, yes, good choice. You know, so it's funny you talk Seinfeld because I remember growing up, you know, like we all did, and the longest running show at that time was MASH. Remember? It was like 1,000 years old, right? So now it's like Seinfeld has replaced MASH with like the show that just never goes away. Neat, yes. So Rico, another serious question for you. Neat means like no ice, right? Like just a little bit of bourbon on the bottom of the glass. Am I correct with that? Is that what it means? It's glass. It's but on the bottom, right? So I like to crush. I like to crush a blunt. I like to go in the garage and cut it up. So I'm still old school, man. I don't even use the grinder. Yeah, I got some scissors. I got a good old. What do you call it? I got a good old callus on my finger from cutting. I actually got the cannabis callus from my scissors. True story. Yeah, 100%. Just chop. Yeah, so I like to crush it up, and it makes me feel pretty good. There we go. So we got MASH is what? Yes, MASH is one of the greatest. I would much rather watch MASH than, oh, no shit, eh, Holroyd? Yeah, interesting. I don't know about that. I think I'd probably lean more into the Seinfeld kind of things. Dwayne says, everybody loves Raymond. That's a good show, too. Yeah, 100%. Man, those old school sitcoms, they just aren't around anymore, are they? No, or we're just old. Or we're just old and we don't relate to the shit that's happening today. We got Sullivan saying comedy that I've watched before, slow frame to frame from one before everything became an MTV video. Yeah. You know, I got to tell you guys what I'm really loving about the world we're living in right now. True story, guys. What I'm loving that we can grow up together with, because we are going to grow up together, man, every single morning, live right here on Mornings in the Lab. We can start creating some really cool content. Hey, Neiman, I saw some really cool stuff yesterday on Google Omni, where just, you know, taking me as the character, create my avatar, and turning me into like the 80s. So we can do some really cool shit, I suspect, with some of that technology that they've rolled out with Gemini. Dwayne, you're pluralizing, Dwayne, no, you're a dinosaur. Yeah, you're the next age up. Remember, brother? Yeah, you're the dinosaur. I'm the junior dinosaur. I'm the little T-Rex with the little arms. Yeah, there you go. All right, coming up in a couple minutes, John Anderson's going to join me in the lab this morning. I wonder how well he is feeling. And hey, guys, craziness happening here in the Canadian airports. Dude, yeah, exactly, Dwayne. T-Rex. Craziness happening in the Canadian airports. Yeah, you might just be packing a bag, and you might be arrested because your bag might be full of cocaine that you didn't pack. Yeah, true story. We're going to put that one on the table in a few moments. Hey, Jimmy, how many minutes is somebody behind if they've snoozed all fucking year so far? Since January 1st, anybody hitting 9 minutes? Snooze tracker.mornings.live, 21 hours behind. I'm just going to say it because I know you guys are up with me this morning. Dwayne, Adam, Rico, Sullivan, Ollie, Roofy. Just think, man, you guys are up. Oh, there's Roofy over on LinkedIn. Just think, you guys are up and at 'em, and there's a dude in your circle. Guys, there's a dude in your circle that's 21 hours behind you. Don't you love that? Don't you love feeling like, yeah, I'm fucking ahead right now? Yeah. Dwayne's like, oh yeah, I'm the dog today because I got one of my buddies who's been sleeping since January 1st and I'm ahead of that motherfucker. True story. Yeah. All right. Listen. I know Neiman. Dwayne is absolutely a baby boomer. And Cheryl Whitaker, she just caught the edge of the Gen X. But here's the thing, Neiman. What I like about the baby boomer friends is that not only are we a show for the generation we call X, but actually we're the show for all my baby boomer friends that want to look backwards to us. Because Dwayne still wants to teach me shit. Dwayne's like, yeah, I want to teach my Gen X brothers out there shit. I'm like, yeah, you sure do, brother. All right, listen. Hey, guys, you guys know what happens now. While we kindly wait for the man of the hour, the big dog himself, John Anderson. Jimmy, let's get the show on the road with something we like to call every single day around this time. Let's all chant it together. The morning loop, it starts right now.
Good morning, nation. The big dog felt rough yesterday, but our brother still showed up. That's John. Sick, tired, no cigar, still checking in because the man doesn't leave people hanging. Chief saw it and went full parent mode. Love you, brother. Go rest. We've got the room.
Hey, handsome chief. I can take John's spot for a while. Same attitude, smaller medical bill.
That puppet's nasty. But real John, we love you. Hope you got good rest yesterday, big dog. Let's start the morning loop.
What the fuck was that? I think I got to see that again. Good morning, Whitaker. The other Whitaker's here as well. Good morning, Cheryl Whitaker. It starts with joy every single Wednesday. She's getting after it. Hey, Whitaker, I saw your show yesterday, Cheryl. It was fucking bomb. Like, I'm not sure why your guest is not a host with you. You guys were awesome. What a great episode. If you guys do not, man, you guys want to hear a story? Go back and listen to Cheryl's show yesterday, man. It starts with joy, 8:30 Eastern time. It starts with joy.live. Go find her over on YouTube. What a fascinating conversation with her guest yesterday. I'm not saying much more. No, you got to go check it out. I will tell you what I'm going to say. I see him hunched over in the distance. There he is. His name. Yeah, Maddie, I know. I saw the puppet too. John didn't. John Anderson is here. Let's bring him into the lab, Jimmy.
Was that supposed to be me leaning over like my stomach hurt or something?
That's exactly it. Yeah. You missed the opener. You were burping and shit so we got some new tools to play with Google Gemini dropping last couple of days. So we got some fun stuff happening. Dude, how are you feeling, man?
I slept almost all day yesterday.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. My stomach, I'm definitely moving the right direction, but still kind of still a little goofy.
Yeah, like, are you shitting water? Or are you?
No. It's nothing like that. I was expecting it to turn into that.
Yeah,
but no, it's just kind of. It's like I don't know. I don't know how to really describe. It's new. That's all I can say.
Oh, interesting. It's new. You've never experienced this before.
No, I mean, normally when you react like that, it's because you got the flu.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like there was any. I didn't feel like there's any flu symptoms.
No shit.
You know? Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Sometimes, there's a lot of times you just don't know what happens. But if it doesn't turn into a trend, it's not a problem.
It's funny you said it because I love my wife to pieces. Sometimes I find she's like looking for the answer. Sometimes there is no answer. Right. And I'm not trying to be dismissive of that, but sometimes there isn't one, is there, Johnny? Because to your point, it's like I can't figure it out and you just got to ride it out. Right. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the simplest way that I try to explain to my kids, clients, myself is, the body's this constantly evolving, adapting machine. And it's adapting to something. We don't really know what it is.
Yeah, totally.
But the question is it adapting? That's the question you got to ask yourself. If it's adapting, then let it do its thing. If it's not adapting, like if today was worse than yesterday, then that would be there. Then now lies a problem we got to fucking figure out, put some effort into. But the fact is moving back the right direction. Yeah. That's all you got to know. But I mean, I think the trying to figure it out almost makes it worse.
Well, it's funny because I've talked to Lauren about that before. I wonder if it does, because mentally you're trying to search, putting a bunch of mental, energy into something that just might not be there. And I'm not suggesting we don't want to try to find out what the problem is, but to your point, sometimes it's just you got to accept it for where it is and just go with it, right?
Well, think like this: if we were machines,
yes,
there'd never be any variance.
Oh yeah, well said.
We're not. Every day's got to be different.
Yeah. That's
when I say got to be, it meaning that if it wasn't different, that means there was no sensory changing around us, which that's absolutely impossible.
Yeah. We got Roofy quoting, if it's not a trend, it's not a problem. Great perspective. That is a great quote, man. That's a really great quote. If it's not a trend, it's not a problem. Dropping bombs this morning with John Anderson. Brother, we got a dude on the show here today. The Sharks said that he'd never hit $10 million. Nick Friedman went on to Shark Tank. They turned him down. And they're like, nah, not going to happen, brother. So what did he do instead? He built a $300 million business. Which is I love
that. I watch that show a lot when we're like we're in hotels.
Yes,
that's the first TV show that I'll look for in the guide.
Dude, you and me both. That one or Dragon's Den? It's because they're similar. Dragon's Den's the Canadian versions of it.
I was going to say I don't know what Dragon's Den is.
Yeah, so Dragon's Den is the Canadian version of Shark Tank. And actually, Johnny, you'd be curious to know this, but so that's a licensed show that came out of the BBC out of Europe. When it was launched in North America, it launched in Canada as Dragon's Den first, because Dragon's Den came out of Europe. They did testing, and they found that the words dragons didn't resonate with Americans. Shark Tank did. They ran the tests. They turned Dragon's Den into Shark Tank, exact same show, exact same format, but Americans resonated with Shark Tank over Dragon's Den. There you go.
I can see the resonation with Shark and Dragon.
Me too, 100%. Yeah, absolutely I can, 100%.
When you look at that panel,
yes,
he's not always there because the guy on the far right, I can't remember, he was an immigrant. It wasn't he one of like the creators of the show?
No, Mark Burnett.
Robert something?
Robert Herjavec. So great question, John. So Robert Herjavec's a Canadian guy. He's a Croatian. He actually was one of the original guys on Dragon's Den up here in Canada. And then when Dragon's Den took off and they were launching Shark Tank in the United States, they're like, we need to get a name. We need to get some visibility. They contracted Kevin O'Leary and Robert Herjavec to launch Shark Tank. Speaking of Kevin O'Leary, I got some words of wisdom. Jimmy, let's run some words of wisdom because you'll appreciate this one from the man himself, Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. Jimmy, let's run this clip, brother.
Like people do with their time is saying, oh my goodness, people don't like me, or they don't like me on social media. They're criticizing a post I made. Who gives a shit? Like, why do you care? There's millions of people out there. Some will agree, some won't. Don't worry about it. Just stay true to yourself.
That's still to this day, as a 54-year-old man, I cannot wrap my head around some people. I had a dude last week come to me in his 50s going, well, maybe you need to be a little bit different. I'm like, dude, you're 50 years old. Go look in the fucking mirror, man. Go be yourself. Johnny.
So say that again. Who? This is in a conversation where?
I had a dude approach me last week about just my age and his age and being different than what I am myself. I said, no, I'm happy.
Was he your same age?
Yeah. I would say a similar age to us. And I said to him, I'm happy being Keith Billis. Like, fuck, man. Like honest to God, Johnny.
Yeah. I mean, it's a screwy world we live in, brother. You know, it's like we get kind of like plumbed or programmed to be this certain way. And if we never get a look outside that, you know, it's like you're just becoming who you were expected to be.
Or who somebody else wants you to be. I know somebody else here too that I've been getting to know over the last.
I think that's kind of the same thing. Would you agree?
100%. 100%, Anderson. I know somebody else too who I've gotten to know over the last few years, and I got a lot of respect and for this human. But you observe people over time, and I'm finding this person, and I got nothing wrong with affirmation, Johnny. Don't misunderstand what I'm going to say next. But I've met somebody who needs nonstop affirmation to confirm his decision or confirm something. You felt like in other words, unable to make own decision. It's like I got to talk to 10 people and get 10 answers before I can make my own decision. And listen, I know we all make decisions differently and leaders make this, but dude, sometimes like you're a fucking leader. Like decide. Just fucking decide. You know what I mean? Like, be something, have a value, have a truth, and make a decision, man.
It's hard for people. It's not always easy for people to do because they've been living in a world where they don't make many decisions for themselves.
I guess so.
Well, figure like this: the standard life. You wake up.
Yes.
You know, you've gone through all your schooling, right?
Yes.
Which is basically you're not able to make many decisions for yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You only make a few.
Yes.
Then you fall right into the status quo. You go and you fucking get a job. Well, guess what? Who's making your decisions for you again?
Yeah. Yes.
Then you fucking get into you get married, have kids too fucking soon, which happens to most people. Now you got a pissed off wife who's fucking making all your decisions for you again. Yes. Where the fuck have you made any decisions in your life?
You know what's funny, actually, to your point, is that if you get into the system, your license makes the decision when you turn, was it 55 or 60? Because the old age stuff starts kicking in, right? So it's like, okay, I don't know, old age pension or however that bullshit works when you get a little bit older. But it's like, okay, this is what now happens. Wait a minute, why not take control of your own life? I'll tell you, Johnny, I'll tell you who's like, I got to have some humor with this one, man. So we grew up watching something happening over there, and it all kind of came to fruition yesterday. Jimmy, let's run the clip, man. Let's have some fun with this one. One of the Castros has now been actually indicted for murder after a 1996 American pilot shoot down. Jimmy, let's run this clip, man.
4 men died in the sky. Their families waited 30 years for the government to say Raul's name. That kind of delay changes justice. It stops feeling like closure and starts feeling like debt. 30 years changes the politics. It doesn't change the loss. Families don't measure time the way governments do.
Everybody on this show growing up is we're all Gen Xers, boomers, and so forth, and we all grew up with the Castros in Cuba and Fidel Castro and Raul Castro. Well, yesterday, United States, they went and arrested one of the dudes, 94-year-old Raul Castro. They got a big warship sitting outside Cuba. There's talks that maybe Cuba is going to fall to America in the next number of days. But I only put this on the table because this is a history lesson coming to life in 2020. What is it, 2026, where, it's like, okay, we're going to go back into the olden days to bring history forward. So it doesn't have any impact on any of us. It's just one of those, oh, okay, there's history coming forward.
Oh, so what exactly happened?
Yeah, so the administration yesterday, they indicted and arrested Raul Castro. So back in '96, some civilian airplanes were shot over in international waters, killing 4 Americans. And listen, America's just trying to put pressure on Cuba, and they're looking for any way possible to go make some hay over there. And they went and arrested one of the dudes, one of the Castros, just like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I can totally see the idea of
100%.
having Cuba submit. I mean, there's no power over there, I believe.
Well,
right?
no, there's no power at all. They got no oil over there. Hey, so here's something else super crazy, man. So you know Ebola, like the kills humans left and right. Well, dude, there's a guy coming back from flying over from across the pond, apparently on an airplane that was because Ebola broke out in the Congo and over the last week or so, and some guy traveling back to North America on Air France was supposed to land in Detroit yesterday. No, they landed the guy in Canada. Like, dude, what are you bringing it to Canada for? So maybe Canada's becoming the dumping zone for the Ebola.
Because there's so much space where nobody is. You can put somebody down and just let them walk for fucking days and never see another human being.
That's part of the reason. Yeah, exactly. We got Rico saying it's better to do something, whether right or wrong, than do nothing. I'm with you, Rico. That's why I'm all about making a decision, man. At least make a decision. Too often we don't make one, and then to John's point, we wake up 55 years later and we haven't done much today. We haven't done much. So hey, you're hanging out with Keith and John this morning on Mornings Live with Keith, John, and friends. Coming up, we got a man who said that he'd never hit 10 million bucks. So what did he do instead? He built himself a $300 million business out of a cargo van. His name is Nick. Joining myself and John this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. I see Nick joining us in the green room there. Hey, Johnny, on this day 30 years ago, we had some Soundgarden drop. Maybe we talked a little bit of stuff in the past. Soundgarden dropped this awesome album. Jim, let's run this. Let's pull this up on the screen here, Jim. There you go. Yeah. What's that one there? Yeah. This Down from the Upside there. Great album back from 30 years ago. Man,
that would have been like their third or something.
I know. I can't believe 30 years ago, dude.
It's the first, because I believe the first one wasn't much on the radio. What was the one right before this one? With Rusty Cage, I believe.
Yes.
Bad Motorfinger.
Yes. What the hell was it?
There was one before that though too. I don't remember what that one was.
I can't recall either. We'll get to try to pull it up for us. Guys, let's pull some old Soundgarden for us. That would be really helpful. Hey, so we had Tom Farley on the show on Monday. And maybe
fun conversation.
Great conversation. And I don't know if just because we were talking to him and maybe Farley was in my feed, but I had some Chris Farley stuff show up this morning and I was like, oh man, that's fucking funny. Jimmy, let's run some of those epic spot, man. Let's run a little bit of Chris clips here. This is humor that I certainly enjoyed playing. Check this out.
In the morning. Absolutely not. I don't get up till noon.
Now Mandy will leap completely out of the water and do a backflip. Here she goes.
That's really something. So do you live with me? Damn it! That fish really got me! Son of a bitch! Oh my God! We want a banner, not a wooden ladder!
So his physical comedy, there was nobody like Chris Farley, man. And I got to tell you, Johnny, after spending time with Tom, I was watching this clip this morning. I don't know. It brought some warmth to my heart. It brought a little bit of sadness to my heart. And it just made me ask a lot of questions, like what he was going through. You know, he does these scenes, what's going through his mind after these scenes. Like he was a talent, man, and a talent that we lost too young. And you know, and just it's sad, brother, just sad. 100%.
I think when you get really deep into any addiction, you lose sight of all the fucking shit that around you that's important.
Yes.
And then once that happens,
you've
it's like,
talked about it. You've talked
why am
about
I here?
Yeah. Well, that's why
strips it all away.
That's why I really enjoy when we have conversations like these deep ones with these guests and you share your story. I just found it so powerful. You know, when you drop these things, like, you know, I'm going into the bedroom, Terry, I'm not coming out until I'm fucking, solving this. Like this, some of these things, like, because you recognize that it was controlling you instead of you controlling it. And yeah, and I've gotten to know you. I know it wasn't a first start, end start. It was many tries, many attempts to get after it. And then finally you kicked it. And it's
that behavior pattern never dies.
No,
you have to be ready to deal with it every time it shows up.
Yeah. It's like I said, I got lots of props and lots of love for you. You constantly being so honest about it. Hey, so this is craziness happening here in Canada and the United States in the last week or so. Jimmy, what's going on with folks flying through Pearson Airport? Employees are swapping luggage tags, Johnny, to frame innocent Canadians with drug-filled bags. Jimmy.
Airport workers allegedly turned baggage claim into frame a tourist roulette. That's not a delay. That's a felony with wheels.
17 innocent travelers got dragged into this mess. A swap tag can turn vacation into a courtroom.
Don't just trust the system. Document the handoff, track the suitcase, and make your bag harder to hijack.
Nick Friedman from $10 million to $300 million, joining myself and John Anderson. So when I heard this one, I said to myself, geez, why hasn't this happened before? So apparently I like a baggage handlers, Johnny, at Pearson Airport. So I check my bag. They're taking it to the back, opening it up, putting drugs into it, changing the bag tags, and then giving it back to me as I'm traveling. I get to come visit you in California. They take the luggage and go through screening. I'm like, hey, I got cocaine in it. Like, wait a minute. I didn't fucking pack cocaine. It's actually pretty genius when you think about it.
So I wonder, why are they changing the tag if it's still your bag?
That has not been revealed. I'm suspecting it's here it is right here. So to record your bag being weighed and tagged, and then securing the tag with clear tape to prevent easy. So I think they're changing the. Good question. I don't know why they changed the tag.
Because if they're going to keep it, your ownership, so you're on the hook. Why they don't want to put their own fucking name on there?
Well, that's just it. But what I find fascinating though is that I got to think this happens more often than we think. Like it's such
it happens even not in the airline. Yes. You know, that's a big hustle where some fucking charming guy will go over into the, go into Asia or wherever, and he'll fucking fill up that suitcase with fucking drugs, and he's traveling with some young lady.
Yes.
And she says, "Oh, can you check one of my bags for me?" Well, fuck, she thinks she's in love. She's not looking at that bag. She checks the fucking bag.
Yeah.
And as long as they get out of the next airport, okay, they're perfect. If not, she stays behind with the bag.
Yeah, there you go. It makes me wonder. We've talked about the Hells Angels and some of the organized crime here on our show. It makes me wonder sometimes, and I'm being serious here, and you'll laugh at me because I'm just that naive dude here. Like, how many baggage handlers in North American airports actually work for an organized crime syndicate? And I'm being serious. Like, goes to work, does his job, but connected through not connected is connected through something organized, because that's just how you do it. You go to job, you go there, and you quietly do things.
And those are the ends that make this stuff work smoothly. With all the cameras now, you would think that'd be far more difficult.
Oh yeah. Dwayne says, changing the tag changes ownership. Yeah, I know, Dwayne, but I'm just thinking aloud here, Dwayne. So if I check my bag and it changes, it changes ownership to somebody else. Now John gets the bag, right? And I've tried. Yeah, I see how that can kind of work. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, my baby.
But you see what I mean? If you check the bag, that someone doesn't know you, that wants to keep you on the hook, why the fuck would they change the tag?
Yes. Well, so and I
guess if they were putting something in there that was valuable,
you'd want to
they wanted to keep, they changed the tag to them, but they don't want ownership of that bag.
Yeah. You think so? All right.
What do you mean think so? You want a bag with 20 pounds of cocaine in there going through an airport?
only if I'm getting it, nobody's catching me.
Crazy.
Hey, I found something ridiculous. I'm going to share it coming up. Have you ever lost your mind after having a big dump?
Lost my mind after having a big dump. I guess I need to define lost your mind.
Yeah, well, apparently, and I'm not going to run it right now, but coming up later on in the show, I found a woman, Johnny. I found a woman who lost years of memories after she had a massive shit with excessive force. True story coming up. Yeah, I see Nick Friedman smiling. We're going to tease it. We're going to share it with Nick and Johnny coming up this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, Sean, and Friends. Yes, Nick, you have no idea what you got yourself into. Nick Friedman in the green room there. The guy so he went on to Shark Tank, and they're like, nah, you're probably going to be a fucking loser. You're probably not going to have any success. No, your company's not going to do nothing. He's like, fuck that. I'm going to go have success. He builds a $300 million company. Sophia Grant. How about let's bring the guy up? His name, Nick Friedman. Join myself and John Anderson live on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and Friends.
You ever have the respectable path sitting right in front of you, and somehow the ridiculous idea feels more honest? That was the tension around Nick. Professional consulting made sense. Building a logistics empire with his best friend did not. That best friend was Omar Soliman, a kid he met in 10th grade detention before either one knew the script. Years later, they had a beat-up cargo van, a $10,000 business plan prize, and a name nobody could forget. College hunks sounded like a joke until you learned the letters meant honest, uniformed, nice, knowledgeable, service. Then came the big pitch to the Sharks. First episode, big room, bigger opinions. The investors said they'd never be a $10 million company. That line could have become a ceiling. Instead, Nick and Omar treated it like fuel. Today, that same company does over $300 million and operates across more than 200 franchise territories. But the real story is not trucks. Nick calls it a leadership organization that happens to move and haul. Culture is easy to preach from the corner office. This team has provided millions of meals and helped those in need move forward. So if you've been told to be realistic, Nick's story asks what that realism might be costing you. Nick, welcome to Mornings in the Lab. We're excited to have you on center stage today.
Guys, imagine you go into your very first episode of Shark Tank. The sharks tell you that you'll never build a multi-million-dollar company. And I imagine they're walking down the hallway going, what the fuck? So instead, they go and they created a $300 million company. Let's bring him in this morning. Nick Friedman this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and John. With Jake and Nick.
Great to be here, guys. Enjoyed the segments leading up to this. This is an exciting opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, so Nick, where you going?
First question, brother. So I watch that show, but I'm not an avid watcher. I watch it when I'm in a hotel, and at a glance, I don't remember seeing your episode. So I'm asked this question. Obviously, you didn't get a deal, but you clearly had an amazing concept, right? Somehow they missed it. So was the reason they missed it because you were one of these guys that came on here and gave them like a $7 gazillion evaluation?
No, so we were actually on episode 1, season 1. So it actually started as the pilot episode. It became the premiere episode. Probably why you hadn't seen it, because a lot of people didn't watch it when we first appeared.
Oh, wow. So you were way back when.
But we didn't know who these sharks were. We didn't know if the TV show was even going to get picked up. They weren't television celebrities yet. And we actually went on. We had started College Hunks. We had a pretty successful local operation.
Yeah.
And we had actually a sister company. You guys will appreciate this. We were going to call it College Foxes Packing Boxes. That's actually what we went on to pitch. So the Sharks didn't bite on that one. They thought it was funny. It was good for TV, but they actually wanted equity in our existing business. And Kevin O'Leary called us greedy pigs. We didn't know that was his shtick. We thought he was just an asshole.
Yeah.
Actually, when he declared himself out, I said, well, that means you get to stop talking, right? And I didn't mean it to come out like that blunt, but it was sort of like he was poisoning the room for the other Sharks and not giving them an opportunity to ask questions, which he tends to do. And we actually did. We got an offer from Robert Herjavec. I think he offered us like $250,000. He wanted like 20% of College Hunks at the time, which, that investment would be worth for him probably 300x if we had accepted that. So it was probably not an unfair offer that he gave us, but he was the only one that saw any sort of real likelihood of potential in us. But everybody else, bowed out pretty quickly, especially Mr. Wonderful. And he actually said, "You'll never get to this side of the table." Those were the words that came out of his mouth. And so I'm actually thinking about reaching out to the producers and be like, "Hey, why don't you put us right next to Kevin O'Leary for an episode and run that." And then flash, back to him and back to us sitting next to him so we can make the investments and compete with him.
I love it. Nick Friedman, joining myself and John Anderson. So, Nick, I'm up here in Canada, and I don't know if you heard the original. As John and I were kicking off this morning, but so Shark Tank, as you know, Shark Tank originated out of the BBC, and it came to Canada first as Dragon's Den, where O'Leary and Herjavec became the big thing. Well, and as you probably also know, Shark Tank actually stumbled out of the gates in America. It stumbled out originally. They were having some problems making it go. The pilot was kind of doing its thing, while Dragon's Den was doing a thing. So while we were knowing who Herjavec and O'Leary was, you Americans were like, what the fuck's going on with these two guys, right? So it's really cool to hear you were on episode 1 with these guys, getting to know who they are.
I think Mark Cuban ultimately made that show such a success.
100%. Yeah.
He came on like season 2 or 3.
That's it.
I'm familiar with kind of now
having
done research how it all originated. But it was a great experience for a couple young kids who were just, couple years into starting our business to be thrust into national television on a national stage. It was intimidating, but definitely motivating as well. Like you said, we use that as a chip on our shoulder. You got to take notes, like Deion Sanders. You take receipts of those who doubted you and use that as motivation and fuel.
Talk about that because I think people. So I've shared the story with Johnny many times that I was going through my journey in life. I had a dude tell me I wasn't going to be really much anything in my life either. I went on to build an internet company and sell it for a couple dollars, and I jokingly, metaphorically raised the finger to that man. Although that message to me was motivation.
Yeah. I think anybody, and myself, speaking for myself as an entrepreneur, you got to pull motivation from areas that light a fire. And I can remember when we first started the business full time, we had graduated from college. We had done this as a summer gig, and we were like, you know what? Let's make this a full-time venture. And people had a lot of raised eyebrows. You're going to quit
real quick, brother. How old were you when you were pitching this?
So on the Shark Tank, we were 24.
So you were young. Okay.
Yeah,
really cool.
Fresh out of college, just had to start the business. But
really
people are going to quit your job to haul junk in college. You're going to call it College Hunks. So you're throwing away your degree to start a junk business, a rubbish business. Are you crazy? Yeah. So there's always going to be doubters and haters. And I think that can actually prevent people from, moving forward. And I think it's important to take, draw motivation from those who doubt you, but as well as those who encourage you and applaud. cheering for you. And you think about like guys like Tom Brady. He used the fact that he was drafted in the 7th round as his motivation throughout his entire career. Or you look at Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech. I mean, he was still yelling at the coaches who overlooked him when he was younger, and still had that chip on his shoulder. So I think even the greatest, the elite of the elite, are drawing inspiration, obviously, from those who support and applaud and have helped them along the way, but also use sort of those those enemy avatars to help move them as well.
Dude, I'm loving the energy you're bringing this morning, pal. I'm loving your energy right now. So first of all, I'm not surprised you're successful, and I mean that with just love and respect. You've been on the show for 10 minutes. Your energy itself, like Johnny, the energy he would bring into a room. You're like, okay, I want my ears want to perk up. I want to learn more. But Johnny, get this, man. The guy. So we're gonna go down here. You meet your business partner Omar in grade 10 detention.
Yeah.
So we don't know why you're there, but you're doing some bad shit. You're in detention. And then you guys collaborate. And over the last 20 years, you build a successful business. So I can only imagine the learnings, the fights, the arguments, the disagreements, the love. But you come back to a place that makes it work for you guys. Unravel that for Keith and John and our audience.
Yeah.
Business partners meeting. There's a lot to unpack there, man.
All the above. I'll tell you the quick story about the detention, what landed us there. So the two of us, we didn't play on the football team, but we had a lot of friends on the football team. We hadn't really met each other yet. We knew who each other was.
Yeah.
And our team wasn't very good in high school, but for whatever reason, they were pulling off this big upset. We were all in the stands watching. And I got in my head that when the game was over, if we win, which we were about to do, we would rush the field and celebrate like you see on ESPN. And the coaches and the teachers in the stands had heard about this rumor. And so they basically told all the students, hey, stay in the stands when the game is over.
Except for Nick and Omar.
Omar and I were the only two idiots that ran onto the field to celebrate. But we actually had to run past the opposing team's bench.
Yeah.
And they were not happy that they had just gotten upset and ruined their season. These two knuckleheads were running onto the field. And so actually Omar got tackled by one of the opposing team players. I came over to try to help him. Again, I didn't really know who he was. We hadn't really had become friends yet. And I slipped on the grass and I ended up getting kicked in the head and sent into the emergency room. So I actually used that as really a metaphor of entrepreneurship, honestly, because you got people telling you to stay in the stands.
Yes.
Stay on the sidelines. You got this vision in your head of what it's going to be like. And then you run on the field and you get kicked in the face. And it's, you got to get back up and keep celebrating, keep moving forward. So that was sort of like the beginning of our friendship, sort of the beginning of our entrepreneurial story. But I always say, people ask us a lot, hey, best friends, a lot of businesses and friendships will fall apart. Family relationships get broken up when you do business with people you're close to. The three things that have been, I think, critical to us is our vision, like our long-term, what we're trying to achieve, our values. Those have always been in alignment. We communicate openly. Like we can have a physical argument, a verbal argument, resentments past 24 hours. Like if we put it out on the table, we don't take things personally. We get back to the mission. And I don't know if that was intentional or that just sort of evolved out of our friendship because we had a level of trust and we had a level of, sort of synergy. It's probably a combination of some intentionality where we got to remind ourselves, like, the minute I start thinking, hey, he's not doing this or I'm not doing, or, he needs to do this better. Like I either got to talk to him about it or I got to just get over it because, we wouldn't be here if it weren't for the two of us. So I think that's sort of the level of perspective that we brought to the party.
What, Nick, I think is not spoken about often in business partnerships because I have a very successful business partnership with a fellow named Maurice. I started my former company, him sold it. And we went through probably very similar journeys you and Omar went. And as I grow this with John and my team here, I think there's one word that is not often talked about in business because it's kind of a fluffy word. It's love. Like I got to think your undeniable love for Omar. Like, are you married?
Yeah. Not to Omar, but yes.
But just like the idea of like love, like this unconditional feeling of love, whether it's anger, it's hate, it's this, because when it's all said and done and the business is crumbling, there's Omar.
It's also kind of cliche, because you read a lot in business books, they talk about having core values. And we actually, obviously we must be big on acronyms because we made Hunks an acronym, but we made love an acronym, which stands for live our values every day. And so we came up with, we read a book that said you got to have core values in your business. Omar and I sat in a whiteboard and kind of defined what our 4 core values are at College Hunks. And we actually wrote, hey, the overarching theme of that is live our values every day, love. And so we talk about that in our, company culture orientations and franchise onboardings and, team member trainings and everything else. So, you're right. I mean, it's, three dudes here talking about that concept, but I think it does, it matters. You got to have a level of appreciation and affinity and care for the person that you're, in the trenches with, and then ultimately trying to build something with.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, you'll appreciate this, man. So the dude goes on Undercover Boss. You know that TV show, John, Undercover Boss, that where the owners or founders, they get dressed up as the employee and they don't tell their employees and they become part of the workforce. So
interesting concept. Never saw that though.
Yeah. So Omar goes on Undercover Boss. He works I think Michael Dell did it. Omar or Nick. I think there's been actually a few high profile CEOs have actually done that.
I feel like they put us on the bookends of these shows. We were on the very first episode of Shark Tank, and then we were on like one of the last episodes of Undercover Boss when the popularity of that show was declining. So, but yes, it is peak. I think at one time they aired that show like right after the Super Bowl when it first.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So
not our episode.
You get yourself dressed up in disguise, moving heavy furniture down 4 flights of stairs. What did so this is fascinating to me, man. You went into the workforce.
Yeah.
What did it teach you?
I think that's also, a great testament to why business owners need to get out to the front lines. I think the Japanese call it go to gemba, which basically means like walking the shop floor.
Yes.
Go and because that's where you're going to get the insights. You're going to understand how the team energy is feeling. And it's very easy. I've been guilty of it to, as the business grows, to sort of move into the office and just, be arm's distance and, be preaching the values, preaching the culture, but not really, riding in the truck or listening to the calls or talking to the folks that are actually moving the furniture to see what's working, what's not working. And it's not, of course, everybody's going to have gripes and complaints about this or that. But I think, really sort of being in the front lines and getting able to sort of hear some of the personal stories and pretty impressive and powerful backgrounds that some of these folks have that are, choosing this organization to be a part of their lives, but also, some of the opportunities they might have identified. So like when we did Undercover Boss, of course, it's a little bit produced because you got the cameras there, but these employees think that we were like auditioning to come work at the company. They didn't think that we were, filming Undercover Boss, obviously. And so, they were a little bit more open about some of the challenges they were having at work, some of the challenges they were having at home. And we were able to take some of those nuggets and obviously, implement them when we got back to the office. But literally we had an all staff yesterday. And one of the things that Omar and I were preaching to our technology leaders, to our operations leaders, like, you guys got to get out in the field. You got to spend time with our franchise owners. You got to spend time with our we call them hunks, with our movers and haulers, because, that's where you're going to get the most learnings. And that's, if we're trying to create technology or AI for technology, AI's sake, but we are not understanding how that's going to impact the team member experience, the client experience, the franchise experience. And we're just sort of like, doing it hypothetically with a whiteboard as opposed to seeing how it actually could impact and improve the business.
Yeah. Keith, Nick, and John this morning on Mornings in Live with Keith, John, and friends. So Nick, what's the business? And so I know it, but let's just tell everybody what, because it's the most simple business. Too often we overcomplicate business. You're like, no, we're going to haul junk.
Yeah, I think so. We were in college. My best friend's mom, Omar, his mom had a beat up cargo van from her furniture store. And she said, why don't you guys go move people's furniture and haul people's junk away? You can move what they want to keep. You can haul away what they want to get rid of. And she goes, looks at us. She goes, you guys could be college hunks who haul junk. And we just laughed about it at first and then thought it was a catchy way to make the phone ring. So it's trucks and it's labor. It's probably been around since the wheel was invented, right? But we put a creative name on the exterior, bright orange and green trucks. And then we have been very intentional about the team experience. As you mentioned in the intro, we consider ourselves a leadership factory where we're developing leaders in our frontline employees. Yes, they're moving stuff, but we want to help them with their, human people skills, with their decision-making, stuff that's going to be able to carry them throughout their lives. But, ultimately, yes, we're a moving and junk removal business. We franchised it. So we've got about, 200 franchises around the country that, provide this service for, homeowners and businesses.
John, did you pick up on that? And that's one thing I love about Nick's story as I was reading it and getting prepared for today's show is that, yes, they have a junk removal business, but actually in disguise, they're a human leadership factory. And that is what I fucking love, Nick, because when you frame it that way, that's how you empower humans. That's how you make humans better. That's how you get them involved in your business. Like, I got to think, as you frame that language out inside your company, I got to think this employee satisfaction, like everything went like this. I got to think, Nick. Seriously.
1,000%. 1,000%. That was one of our core values, building leaders. And so we were able to, attract people that had a little bit more of an aspiration and motivation to get better, to better themselves. We were able to kind of create a platform of training where they could improve themselves, but also actually provide a better service for the clients, and that benefits the company. So it creates this sort of, flywheel effect for the business to grow. And it's something that I'm passionate about, right? Like people, I'm not passionate about moving furniture or hauling junk, but I like the idea of employing, an underemployed demographic, giving them a platform to learn and grow, a place where they can kind of, feel like a sports team atmosphere. So those are the things that have been fun for me, is the building the brand and the culture. And it just so happens to be something as simple as trucks and labor.
It's such a lesson, though. Like, it's such a lesson, because business owners get so caught up in the minutia, and at the end of the day, you're like, no, I want to help that guy over there get better as a human. And I know if he gets better as a human, he's going to work harder for me. He's going to come in. He's now going to have his purpose, because let's face it, right? A guy who's sweeping the floor, moving boxes for a living, maybe he's wondering what his purpose is. He's like, okay, I'm going to go get a job moving boxes. Next thing you know, he meets Nick, and he's like, yeah, I kind of want to go lead that guy. Nick's like, oh, hey, let me help you be a leader. Like, dude, it's fucking brilliant, man. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I read a quote. I was thinking this Charlie Munger was Warren Buffett's business partner, and back when he was alive, and he got flack for this. He said, this is like in the late 80s. He was like, McDonald's is the most important institution because it teaches reliability, and people have to show up. But I think in today's day and age, you got to do more than just show up. Like for us, we're teaching resourcefulness. We're teaching problem solving, because you can only systemize so much, but you walk into somebody's house and the piece of furniture is different. The stairway is different. The client's emotional state is different. So we think that we have an opportunity to sort of train this younger, again, sort of underemployed demographic to help learn and grow and develop themselves. And that's what, I've been 20 years into this thing, keeps me getting out of bed in the morning, and I enjoy it, and kind of keeps me moving forward, because obviously in the early days, it was very money motivated, and trying to prove the sharks wrong, and there was the ego in the back of my 20 something year old mind that wanted to have what I didn't have. And then once you start making a certain amount, you start realizing, okay, well, what else can I do that's relevant and meaningful, that allows us to still keep this company moving and growing.
We're hanging out with Nick Friedman, the founder of College Hunks. Man, what a great story this morning, myself and John Anderson. Johnny has some for Nick. So Nick, apologize for my brother here. Johnny's Johnny's a little bit of a bug here, but just dragging us through here. But the guy shows up non-fucking
Listen, I was going to say, John could be like the poster boy for our brand. I mean, it looks kind of like the logo I got on my shirt here with the guns. You mentioned the acronym in the intro. Like, people used to always give us a hard time. Are they all really hunks? Are they, what do you do? Take your shirts off, when you come move? And Omar and I got tired of answering that question. So that's why we came up with the acronym: honest, uniform, nice, knowledgeable service.
Yeah.
That became our brand promise, but also it allowed us to set a little bit of expectation for the clients that they're not going to get, John showing up to their house every day, to move the furniture. We got to be able to, make sure if we got Keiths, coming through that he could be considered a hunk as well.
Dude, damn right's on the hunk as well. Yes, thank you very much. Yes.
I love it. I was just going to add, as I listened to you talk, brother. So my kids are all to college now, but there's a period where, every goddamn summer I'm going back to a college to get all their shit and bring them home. And it was pretty freaking nuts. I mean, especially as they got older, and they had, they were able to, acquire more. Every fucking year, we're leaving more shit behind. And there was my middle daughter. It was the biggest. It was San Diego State. It was the biggest ones I'd ever seen. It was like this quad between two dorms. And there was this pile of stuff, and there was dumpsters everywhere. People fucking throwing shit away. The dumpsters are fucking overflowing, right? But there's this, it looked like this mountain of, everything from beds to mattresses to couches to, kitchen attire, where it was stuff that people deemed not to throw away, that someone else could come and grab. And nobody was grabbing it, because everybody's just trying to get their load condensed enough they can get it in their fucking vehicle and get out of there. but it was unbelievable the amount of stuff that was left behind, which could have easily been grabbed and brought and sold to like a Goodwill or whatever. I don't know if you sell shit to the Goodwill, you give it to them. But point of being, there's just so many resources everywhere in terms of what they were leaving behind. But more importantly, the biggest scarcity of a resource was fucking people moving the shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's, something I've obviously realized in the long time that we've been doing this is maybe it's, North America in general, we accumulate a lot of shit.
Oh my God.
We buy so much stuff and we keep, it's not, I thought at some point it was going to start decreasing, but now with Amazon, there's boxes.
It's getting worse
10 times a day. And, even college students, to your point, they're accumulating stuff and then they're in transition and people are moving from apartment to apartment or house to house. And rarely you come face to face with the stuff you no longer want until you're actually moving and realizing, okay, well, this pile we need to figure out what to do with. So we have partnerships with Goodwill, Salvation Army, organizations like that, where when we are doing the junk removal, we're able to donate, recycle much of the items. We do have some franchise owners that have figured out some secondary revenue streams for the items that do have value. I will say, one of the hardest parts, and people have asked us ever since we had one truck, is like, hey, do you sell anything or do you make money on the second hand? And it was the logistics of, having that mixed load, because out of those piles, I guarantee you there might have been a few things that had value, but then a lot of things that just either wouldn't sell or the cost to store it and then, transport it for the price that somebody might be willing to pay. They'd rather just go get, something off a Facebook shop or, from an individual seller. So it's been hard to commercialize that component of it, is like the disposition and reselling. And that's why sort of the moving and the junk removal is our, two main cores, but 100% college campuses, people's downsizing. We do a lot of work with seniors that are moving from the house they've lived in for 30 years to, the assisted living facility. So, they're going from 4,000 or 5,000 square feet to 1,500 square feet. So you got to imagine now their family members are, don't want all the stuff in their homes. So they got to figure out, are we putting it into storage? Are we, donating it? Are we going to do a small yard sale or estate sale? So all of those reasons, I think, has allowed us to stay in business and grow to the size we are today.
Had I known about a service like yours or yours after my first fucking college moving, I would have been, what day are you coming home, kiddo? Go pick her up and get all the shit out of there.
Yeah. We have a partnership. Actually, there was another Shark Tank company that I think Mark Cuban invested in called Storage Scholars that we partnered with. And they have kind of storage units for college students, but then they actually contract with us to be the lifting, the labor side. As you mentioned, you needed some guys to help actually move the stuff or a truck to put it in. And so that's where we come in.
You know what I love? It was a half day of fucking sweating, moving this shit out of fucking. And of course, you're always fucking a few floors up, And
then we heard about it the next morning, Nick, on the show, when John had to come in and tell us all about his movie. John, you know what I love about Nick's business, though, is that, again, too many entrepreneurs, and I'm one of them, we like to overcomplicate things and make.
I'm the same way, by the way.
Yeah, and do all these crazy things that nobody else is doing, yet you take a very basic industry, a very basic service, wrap it up in your model, building a leadership business, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to go grab some market share. Like, think about it, right? It's like, okay, the moving industry is a gazillion-dollar industry. If I can do it just a little bit better than Keith and just a little bit better than John, maybe I can get 3% market share of a gazillion-dollar industry. Now I'm building a $300 million business. Like, Nick, it's actually not that complicated when you think about it. I'm being oversimplified, but it's true.
No, you're absolutely right. And literally, we were saying the same thing yesterday. We were like, we have to simplify. Like, we overcomplicate it too. The layers and the extra steps, and But I think, to your point, the three things, like, there's low barriers to entry in our business. Anybody can go get a truck, especially nowadays with ChatGPT. You can get a logo, you can get a website, you can get a wrap, and you can be in business. And so obviously when we started, we didn't have as many of those sort of quick turn-ons back then. But the three things that have separated us have been our intentional focus on the culture. That's that sort of leadership development platform. Our customer service approach, which, it requires repetition, reinforcement, training. And then our brand, we've got to just invest in the brand, and whether that's, Shark Tank, whether that's, advertising, whether that's, guerrilla marketing, which we still do, the yard signs and the truck parking, because we've got to be top of mind if somebody's contemplating using this service, because there are other people out there with trucks that can do it.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, we had you for 30 minutes today. Do you want to stick around for an extra 50 minutes with us today, or do you got to rock and roll?
Yeah, no, I can hang. Probably got another 15 minutes.
Let's do that then. We're going to do so Johnny, I'm going to give you a morning off on your lifestyle tip. We're going to reset on hour 2, and we're going to come back and we're going to continue the chat with Nick and John. Because Nick, here's the question for you, brother. How do you unwind at the end of the day? Because a lot of men at the end of the day go home and they'll crush something that might be a self-sabotaging behavior. You don't need a drink to unwind, men. Maybe you need a better habit. That conversation starts with myself and Nick in about 2 minutes, and Johnny in 2 minutes here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the big show that we call Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. We're hanging out with our brother from another mother, Nick Friedman. The guy was told that he'd never hit $10 million in business. So what's he do? He's like, no, I'm going to do better. He builds himself a $300 million moving business. Actually disguised as a leadership business. Cheryl Whitaker, hope your ears are up. You need to have Nick Friedman on your show. He is a leadership guru in disguise. He knows it, but I'm telling him, I fucking love it, man. I love what he's building. Nick Friedman having a fascinating conversation this morning with myself and John. And then we're going to get into it right now with Sophia Grant, Keith, John. You don't need a drink to unwind. No, you need some better habits. And of course, we found a woman. Yeah, we found a woman, and we're going to talk about that woman before Nick leaves. She lost 10 years of memories. She did. After she had a massive shit. Petro, I'm telling you, man, this is not bullshit. Coming up next on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and our buddy Nick Freeman on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends.
At 6 p.m., men don't pour a drink for taste. They pour permission.
They call it unwinding, but it's just outsourcing self-control to a bottle.
One drink steals REM, steals mornings, then you wonder why your edge feels dull.
Relax, it's only 2. If I stop, I might have to feel my life. If your reward wrecks tomorrow, it's not a reward. It's a quiet tax on your standards.
So Keith and John, is I earned this a ritual or a loophole men use to stay stuck?
We have an awesome day. We have a successful day. We get some wins. Dopamine's flying. We're high and flying. And then we come home at the end of the day. We either have a drink. We crush some shitty food. We maybe engage in some self-sabotaging behavior. Brother, be honest with me. How do you end your day?
Man, it's funny. As you were leading up to this, I was reflecting back on my journey 20 years as an entrepreneur. And I've been there. I've been, the guy that crushed the drink or went to the bar or self-sabotaging behavior, doom scrolling, you name it.
Yes.
And that sort of, it was almost like I'll call it numbing out. I've heard it referred to. To try to dull whatever, level of frequency you were on throughout the day, catching shrapnel as an entrepreneur. Now it's a little bit harder to do that. And so I kind of have almost like forced settling. I've got 4 kids, ages 4 to 11. I've, got an amazing patient wife that doesn't put up with my nonsense. But even I think like within a year or 2 ago, like I would come home and instead of maybe self-sabotaging behavior, I would just crash. Like I would be like completely drained and void of energy. Yeah. And my wife was like, that's not happening either. We got kids here. They got to eat. They got to go to soccer. They got to go to baseball. So, right, something's got to change. And so honestly, it's trying to preserve my energy through the day. I'll go for a walk, take the dog out for a walk to try to clear the head, put the phone away, crush water, sparkling waters. I have been drinking those like they're going out of style, the LaCroix. So, I think as an entrepreneur, I can speak for myself only, but I think, I've heard other sort of testimonies of these. It's like, we operate at a high frequency, we have a lot of process addiction. We have got a lot of, dopamine levels that kind of spike and decline. And so I don't have a great answer for you aside from being aware of it first and foremost. And then, having maybe a why as to why you shouldn't be. In my case, that's become now my wife and kids as a component of it. And then just trying to protect the energy throughout the day so that I don't either crash or want to, unwind with the drink, which is obviously, creates a little bit of a negative spiral.
Yes.
You know?
Well, Anderson, it's this high functioning lie, eh, Johnny? Where, you know, us high functioning men, yourself, myself, you know, Nick, you know, maybe it's this, I gotta go. And then at the end of the day, it's like, I need something to bring me down. And John, you've had a lot of your clients that you mentor. I gotta suspect, brother, have this challenge or have talked to you about how to unwind from it.
Fuck, I have this challenge. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's, you know, I mean, it's I mean, what our man's talking about here is that balance, and that balance is it's a slippery slope, because you get to where you're there, and it can just be something very small that sends you off one way or the next. So it's a constant management thing. And yeah, I mean, I struggle with it too. I mean, it's, if you think about it, I kind of like when you're really fucking like a high performer, you're trying to balance on this. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
If you're, you know, more of the norm, you're trying to balance on this, which is a pretty fucking easy job.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, you might be trying to escape this. That might be a different, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want, as to where we're up here, we're just like, okay, this is fucking great. I just need to disconnect, because if we don't disconnect, then it's hard to keep operating at the high level.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Nick, going to where John said in your 20-year journey, and, you know, as comfortable as you are sharing it, I got to think it hasn't been just, you know, roses and celebrations over those 240 some odd months or whatever it's been, right? So, you know, talk to us about some, you know, some low moments where it's like, holy shit, man, we're in a tough spot right now.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is sometimes I feel like, you know, I'll answer that question, but sometimes I think even the unwinding, you feel like you need it even when things are going great, because like sometimes things are going great and we sort of have this like almost like you said self-sabotaging behavior, because like you're I don't know, I can't explain the subconscious of it, but like you maybe aren't willing to just sort of like bask it's almost uncomfortable being at a great place, so you're like trying to bring yourself back down a level or two, and so even when things are going great, I've actually had maybe sometimes more manic moments than when things were not going well. When things were not going well, I felt like I had to sort of like lock in and I couldn't get distracted. When things were going great, I was like, I don't know, more easily complacent and more easily, you know, like I said, manic. If all of a sudden we had a lot of money and I, you know, felt like I had to frenzy to do something with it. But two of the things that stood out as challenges for us, obviously the COVID era was, you know, it was a brief window. But for the 3 months where things shut down, I was, you know, under my bed for, you know, a couple days wondering, am I going to lose everything that we worked 15 years to build? And then I kind of had to, you know, pick myself up off the mat and say, okay, no, we're going to figure this out. I'm going to call every franchise owner personally. We're going to, you know, get them the PPP loans that they need to stay in business. We're going to, you know, get the essential declaration to be able to continue operating and all those sorts of things. But actually, when we started franchising was in 2009, and that was the peak of the housing crisis. And so if you were to pick a time to start franchising a home service business that depends on, you know, disposable income, 08, 09 was probably not the right time. And that was before I had what I call, you know, honestly, my wife doesn't like when I use this analogy, but like the wife and kids are somewhat guardrails for me, because I feel like, you know, I can't F that up. I got to like, you know, stay in the lane to, you know, maintain that. I know some people, you know,
I like that. No, if that keeps you centered, brother, if that keeps you centered, that's a good thing.
But back in my 20s, I didn't have a wife, I didn't have a kid, and all I had was my business, and I was, you know, struggling. So that was, you know, that was when I would go out partying 4, 5, 6 times, you know, a week after work, and then get up early, you know, in the office, probably still smelling like alcohol. And, you know, maybe back at that age, I was still able to grind through a little bit more because, you know, the hangovers don't hit as hard back then, or, you know, you're just like sort of riding off of, you know, fumes and you just keep going. So those are some of the things as I reflect back on the journey where those have manifested, and I've had to either check myself or, you know, lean into some mentorship or peer groups or my parents or, you know, trusted, you know, folks that, you know, help you see some of those blind spots.
Yeah. Yeah. John, Nick, I got something I got to put on the table for this morning that I couldn't believe that I discovered.
I can't believe I'm still here for this one, but
apparently a young lady had a massive shit. And as a result of that shit, she lost memory from the previous decade. after straining intensely due to severe constipation. Diagnosed, Petro, ears up on this one, Petro. Yeah, this is true. Diagnosed as transient global amnesia, triggered by reduced blood oxygen flow to the brain via the Valsalva maneuver. Now, this is a rare neurological event. It typically lasts under 24 hours, but apparently after she had a massive shit, she actually lost like 10 years of memory, and it came back in 24 hours after that. But Johnny, I know we talk about defecating often on this show. And I just was wondering if that maybe had happened to you or Nick.
My first question is, how the fuck do you determine that you fucking lost 10 years of memory in a fucking 24-hour period?
I don't know.
And how do they trace
I mean,
it?
if it was a year, okay, I can see how you might be able to spool through a decade of fucking memories. But in a 24-hour period, what do you just fucking taking a bunch of fucking speed, sitting up all night trying to going through the memory? What the fuck?
Also, did she remember that she was just on the toilet, or did she lose that memory too?
Just good morning show conversation for us this morning. So, man, if you're out there having a crop today and you forget that maybe you have this TGA, a real rare.
Take it easy.
Yeah, there you go.
This sounds like a fucking condition that was concocted by a guy who wanted to forget the last fucking 10 years of his life.
Nick, before we walk you out of here, Johnny Nick's an author. Of course he is. Look at all the books behind him. You wrote the book Effortless Entrepreneur. But be real with us. What's been the least effortless part of building what you've built, dude? Because what's the thing that nobody talks about? One thing nobody talks about.
Nobody talks about the energy, energy, maintenance, like balance, sort of curation. I think, everybody talks about the tactical stuff. You got to have vision, you got to have execution, but and so obviously effortless is sort of an oxymoron because everything is effortful of being an entrepreneur. We kind of use the notion of, hey, when you look at the great athletes or the great artists or the great musicians, it appears effortless when they're out on stage, but we know all the hard work that went on behind the scenes. So it's sort of that duck on a pond concept where you're pedaling real fast, but the duck looks like it's really, peaceful gliding across the top of the pond. But I think nobody really talks about the energy and also the patience required.
It's really, you're talking about, it's the self-management of the process.
That's it. Yeah. John gets it for sure. Right. And sometimes you can't self-manage, which is why, guys like John can, be helpful in, helping people, manage and coach and see. It's just like why a great athlete would have a coach to help them with their swing. It doesn't mean that the coach, is better at shooting a hoop or swinging a golf club than them. It's just that they're helping them, see what they can't see and groove what they, create that muscle memory. So I think that's the piece about entrepreneurship. It's not for everybody. Very few entrepreneurs said I made more money faster than I thought I was going to. Like we get into a very optimistic.
Yes.
The realization is the timeline takes longer. The challenges are greater. And so I think a lot of it is just the brute force and persistence of, continue to move it forward.
It's always at least
figure like this. If let's just take two little pieces of what you just described, bro. This whole management process. You've got the discipline to go to bed at a set time, and you've got the discipline not to eat shit that doesn't propel you forward. If you can demonstrate that on a regular basis, that'll fucking change everything. And that's just two little pieces of this equation.
And that'll separate you from 99%.
Literally, 100%. Yeah. 100%. And then when you do these things, you basically it keeps you showing up because you've got the energy, you've got the discipline to do something when you don't want to. Now, when you're showing up every day, on top of just the few habits you've developed, you put yourself in that really fucking small percentage. What's the guy up in your neck of the woods, Keith? He's $100+ billion, $1 million guy.
Dan Martell.
Yeah, he says multiple times. He's like, look. If you have a set bedtime and you can actually stick to that, that's more than just going to do more for you than just your sleep. Your sleep will parlay and everything else, but just having the discipline to do that will change everything.
And Nick, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you how you got on the show, brother, because you just said it yourself in the last 90 seconds. So we look for interesting people. That's period. Interesting. Like I said, one interesting. You got on the show. Yeah, no, I'll tell you why. Because you took, and don't take this the wrong way, and I know, and I think I've gotten to know you well enough that you won't. You took the most basic thing, moving stuff, but you're half of a 1%er. Because 99 point, and John knows where I'm going with this, 99.9% of people can do what Nick does, but won't fucking do it. But Nick and his partner were like, we're going to go build a moving business. And you've turned it into a $300 million business that 99% of other people can do, but don't do it. And you see my point.
But see, with Nick, you're just talking about it's his vehicle. He could have picked any vehicle and done the same thing.
Yes.
Sometimes I question whether I picked the wrong vehicle.
Brother, I'm telling you, in my first stab out of college, because I had the same thing. I never got a job. I went straight into entrepreneurship. And my first success was not something that I was interested in keeping around.
Yes.
You know, but at that point, it was the thing that I was able to get off the ground and make money. And I was like, that's kind of that. I thought to myself, son of a bitch, am I going to fucking run a goddamn painting company for the next 30 years? Fuck no. This is a means to the next step.
Yeah. But when I see Nick though,
most people do that, right? Like most college kids would stop after we got out of college. We just kept it going. And I guess we're going to keep it going at this point.
But that's why you are, right? And Petro says, quote of the week by Nick Friedman, that discipline sets you apart from the 99%. But that's why when Kai said, hey, here's Nick, I was like, we got to get this guy on the show. Because I saw all your stuff, but there's a clear reason why you stand out from everybody else. And that's a testament to you, man. That's a test. And that's what we do on the show, right? I'd like to consider myself a 1%er. John's a 1%er. You clearly are a 1%er. Johnny?
Well, and then I was going to say too, is that yes, you took this vehicle that maybe not have been your dream vehicle.
Yeah.
But you've made it, you've wrapped some purpose around it, which then totally changes how the vehicle feels, how it drives. It's got more purpose, you know. In the beginning, we don't really fucking understand. We're just like, fuck, I got to make some money. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, John, I like you said it, because then we're going to wrap up here. Like, that's why I love, Nick, that you've wrapped it up, because I can tell your purpose is in being a leader. So as you and Omar are growing this thing, I'm sure the quiet conversation is like, we're fucking building a moving business? What the fuck, man? And you're like, I'm not motivated by that. Oh, I like leading people. So your purpose is building a leadership company disguised as a moving business. Nick Friedman, fucking kudos, man. Brilliant to you for the success you and Omar are having. Brother, once on the lab, always a family member, always an alumni of the lab. You got announcements, you got stuff you want to plug, you want to come back and hang out with Keith and John, please come back, will you?
Appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time, brother. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Omar Friedman this morning, joining myself and Johnny on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. You do well, okay, Omar?
Nick, but yes.
I'm sorry, Nick.
There you go. Oh, look at that. You guys are hired.
Oh, look at that. The college. Yeah, the handsome hunks. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Okay, what be real question? What's the little guy going to do?
That's Keith right there. That's Keith and John.
What's he going to do?
Is
he going to empty He's going to empty the trash cans in my office?
Well, no, so Nick, I'm already John's assistant. So if you do want to get a hold of John, you can get a hold of John through me there. So that's the other role that I play. You know, I put my name ahead of John's on the show, but I'm also Johnny's assistant. So if you ever need
an assistant is just a cover for the real thing, which is bitch.
I'll let you guys hash that one out. Appreciate it.
Nick Friedman, you have a good one, brother. Take care. Okay. Nick is out of here. What an awesome conversation with Nick, man. I love that dude. And like I said, John, that's why I had the guy on the show, because he's done something that a lot of people can do, but don't do it. Company.
It's kind of crazy. I mean,
it is.
Years ago, I had this podcast called Legends of Iron.
Yeah.
And it was me and Nick Best, strongman buddy of mine, and then a IFBB bodybuilder competitor. There's the three of us, and we'd bring on anybody that made some real progress with the iron, so to speak, being part of the vehicle.
Yeah,
and there was a really good power lifter that came on, and he'd actually gotten in a bad Harley accident, and then turned his focus to arm wrestling, and he'd also become a pretty successful coach. And all of this came from him, having the discipline and duty with weights. And he put it so simply. He's like, anybody could have what I have if they would actually put in the work.
So simple, right? Actually so fucking simple.
Because he was a world-renowned power lifter.
Yeah.
Then became a world-renowned fucking arm wrestler, flies to fucking Dubai for arm wrestling type of shit, and all his expenses are paid.
Yeah,
and he's got a really successful coaching company, Yeah. And it's like, he's really fucking made a great life for himself. And it's just, so he broke it down so simply.
Well,
anybody can have this. They just won't put in the work.
Well, it's funny you say it too, because and I means with all respect, picking heavy stuff up. Like, so the guy made a successful career in living, putting the work of picking heavy stuff up. So to your point, we're not talking about creating some fucking algorithm that needs some quantum computing stuff or gazillions of dollars. The guy made a living picking stuff up, John Anderson. Like, actually, and so did you. But to your point, though, like, seriously, right?
Choose difficult shit.
Choose difficult shit. Hey, dude, I got an awesome committed segment. I love watching these with you. The Blue Angels. So, Johnny, the Blue Angels, they are a flying.
I know they fly in San Francisco, I believe.
Yeah. So check this out. They actually
when those guys come into town that weekend, it's a fucking just. You've never seen so many people flocking to San Francisco.
Look at this. They're flying right now, rehearsing before they go.
What are we looking at? What are they doing in their hands?
Watch his hands. Watch his hands.
Oh, I got you. He's in a simulator.
But closing their eyes. So it's Keith and John in the room before we go in the airplane. So actually not in a simulator.
Oh, so this is visualization.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. I got you.
Cool, man. Like, it's so it's like, I've never seen this before. Like, they're all in sync doing their moves in this, like in their, whatever, the boardroom or something. But that's pretty cool, man. Like I said, I love these segments because you break them down, but that's pretty fucking cool.
That's like a really, really extensive version of two guys in a locker room talking through their match.
Oh, dude. Oh, I just got goosebumps, man. Cause I'm a fan of that shit. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It was, it was WrestleMania week. And I had actually sent I was returning a text to my buddy Ferg, who's Finn Balor.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll have to get back to you a little later. I just stepped into the rehearsal for the match.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking cool, man. So I'm actually chicken pimples right now because of how you articulated that to a couple guys sitting in the locker room talking it through, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you go to those fucking things and it's like you never quite know what the booker has in mind.
Well, so is it you? Okay, is it you and so is it you? Is it Keith and John and the booker usually, Johnny? Like the guy who's actually booked the match? Is that how it works?
If it's big enough, there's a lot of things that come into play.
Okay,
how experienced everybody in the ring is going to be.
Oh yes, of course.
You're always going to hear from the booker how it's supposed to end. Period. End of story. There's no two ways about it. That's not an athlete's decision.
Oh, it's not.
No. Yeah, because they're building. Think about it, they're building stars.
Yeah, it's a TV show at the end of the day. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
But then the booker might be like, he might have an idea, right? Hey, let's do this.
Yes.
Hey, let's do this. But then, the athletes might speak up and say, hey, let's do this, but let's do it this way. So it's just this really creative, scenario. Like I'm trying to think of, there was a match that I was in a situation like this and they wanted me to pull off a move that I only done a few times.
Okay.
And I told him the booker's name's Gato. He's obviously a Japanese guy. I'm like, Gato, if I don't hit this just right, I'm going to have fucking 10 more minutes limping around in here. Because it wasn't a real, and he's like, good point. Because that fucks the whole thing up.
So this is fascinating because again, I watch this stuff. So, and I've seen some of the background stuff where you have the retired guys, like like the booker, right? Or I'm trying to think like Michael Hall. There's a few guys, or Paul Heyman. Like they're sitting back there helping you and I talk through the match, right? Basically, or basically book it through.
Well, I don't know that those would be the bookers, but those would be people that they'd be definitely part of a creative process too.
Yeah.
The booker is, especially in these bigger companies, it's like, fuck, there's writers and bookers and they've got this thing fucking planned out months in advance.
Of course. Yeah.
So sometimes those guys, it's when it comes down to it, all has to align just right.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, from the No Shit Sherlock department, I know you like these like I do. I just lost it though. Hold on a second here. So we got processed meats, Johnny, now officially group 1 carcinogens. the same category as tobacco and asbestos. I thought this was actually already a thing, but it does recap from 2015, the IRCR classification, but they are group 1 carcinogens. Did you know this? Like,
I've actually talked about this on the show many times. Like, you could have a fucking 5-year-old go buy a package of meat. Well, if he's buying the wrong package of meat, he might as well just bought a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah. So I think I've known this, but until it was kind of put into me the same way, like you just said, I was like, well, fuck, that's kind of a duh thing. Like, you're right. You got the 5-year-old walking in to buy the bacon. Why don't you just go give him the pack of smokes? Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all of them are that way, though.
No, I get it. I
would have to think that the majority are.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it's. I mean, with cigarettes, I mean, it's a pretty complex fucking formula what they're doing with those fuckers. Yes. They're trying to get people addicted. There's this, there's that.
Yeah.
I don't exactly understand what the lunch meat. I would have to think it's got something to do with keeping the fucking thing edible for 6 months.
Well, I got to think it's the edible, keeping it edible for 6 months. It's meat. That's you could eat it for 78 years.
Yeah.
Hey, so brother, after we get out of here, what are you doing today? You going back to rest, or are we gonna have to sleep? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna meet with Ben. I'm gonna do my thing with Ben, and I'm gonna try to push through my day and just kind of see how I feel.
Yeah.
I can't say I don't feel like I did yesterday. Kind of in a tweener place,
I can certainly see you're certainly feeling much better. Hey, quickly, I got a couple things before you go here. So we talked this before, Elon and this stuff. Hey, Jimmy, quickly run this clip. SpaceX IPO, they are massive. Jimmy.
Yeah, when does this thing come?
SpaceX just filed their IPO and turned the whole thing into a highlight reel. Most companies file numbers. Musk filed a flex. The filing reads like a resume nobody else can match. First booster refly, ISS crew missions, and now gigawatt AI compute in orbit.
No other private company on Earth can print a resume like that. That ain't an IPO. That's a mic drop.
When is this thing coming out?
I think it's dropping actually later this week. Later this week, or is it next? But it is
Thursday. There's only fucking 2 more today and tomorrow.
Tomorrow, or it's going to be next week here, I believe. I'm just looking for.
Is it going to be available like on all the platforms, or where?
So it is going to be available for retail investors. Yes, it is. So he's into Starship, over $16.5 billion into Starship. So they opened up the prospectus yesterday. So the first private company to develop and launch a liquid fuel rocket to reach orbit in 2008. Like some of their, the specs on their doc, on their IPO filing, massive. Like just
What's
massive.
The ticker symbol.
SPCX is the goal.
Literally SpaceX. Okay.
Yeah. Anthropic, Johnny. So get this. So get the.
Did you say SPCX? You said is the goal.
Is the goal to be the ticker symbol? Yeah, symbol. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not actually we don't really know what it's going to be till they say, guess what? Go buy it.
Yeah. Yes. So that is the. Hey, Kai, could you quickly find out when this thing's going to go public for us? That would be great. My grok is not up right now here, so I'd like to. I thought it was actually going this week, but you're right. It is Thursday. So
I mean, dude, it's like Tesla. If you'd got some of this in Tesla fucking forever ago, even just a few $1,000 would have been fucking off the chain.
So get this.
How do you want to miss this one?
I know you're sitting down for this. So Anthropic, obviously one of the big frontier AI models. So Anthropic actually uses SpaceX's compute. So in the prospectus launched yesterday, it was also acknowledged that Anthropic is into SpaceX for $16 billion a month in compute. So their bill, $16 billion $16 billion a month Anthropic is paying SpaceX to use their computers. $1 billion, man. Like we're talking fucking. It's just astronomical, man. It's absolutely astronomical. So,
what do you think? What do you think? Because I've never bought an IPO, but I was like, I don't want to miss this one. What is it? I mean, literally, talk to me. Is it just buying a really fucking cheap stock, so to speak, or what is it like?
Yeah, so here we got Petra coming over. SpaceX is targeted to make its initial public offering on the NASDAQ as early as June 12th. under the ticker symbol SpaceX. Yeah. So great notes here. We got retail allocation. Reports indicate that SpaceX has reserved an unusually high 30% of its IPO shows for retail investors. So basically, John, you can go to your investment advisor and tell him you want to buy into SpaceX, right? So, and you want to get in during the IPO is what you'd be instructing him. So they've set aside 30% to retail investors. Typically, they don't set that much aside, but you could get into it if they're looking to raise roughly $75 billion. The deal targets a valuation of $1.7 to $2 trillion.
So this is not something you could just go to your Schwab and buy.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, so hold on. Yes, retail. So going to Schwab is a retail investor. So yes, you can go. They're going to allocate 30% of the shares to retail investors, right? Although initial access, it might still be highly competitive. So those first early days, highly probably unlikely. It's going to be I suspect it's going to be a highly subscribed IPO, to your point, because those that got into Tesla early, right? But Johnny, they're valued at almost $2 trillion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's actually crazy. Yeah. He's going to serve as CEO, CTO, and chairman, and he maintains 85% of voting control through dual class structure, which is Elon. So, yes, it's going to be high. Hey, Jimmy, you got some vintage before we walk Johnny out of here? What do we got for vintage this morning? What are we reflecting? Oh, yes.
There we go, baby.
Yes. Turn it up, Jimmy. Turn it up. There we go. A little bit of Trans Am in there, yeah.
Is that Burt Reynolds driving?
No, that one's not actually. No, that's just somebody. That's just a guy in a semi. I caught this clip of them driving in an old school Trans Am, and I was like, man, that's the olden days there. That's some fun stuff. We don't see those black Trans Ams out there at all, actually.
My oldest brother actually had one of those.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. He got a D1 scholarship. So his dad bought him to Oregon. So he had bought him that as like a great job.
That's pretty cool, man. I would suspect if they release that kind of Trans Am model today, or I got to think it would fly off the quote unquote proverbial shelves. Men lining up to buy that black Trans Am, right? So,
well, especially with the modern day tweaks they'd add to it.
Well, that's exactly it. All right, well, brother, hey, John, before you go.
Hey, John, before you go, did you see the guy who basically installed a new penis on his forearm like a cursed Swiss Army attachment? Doctors built it out of his own skin, then parked it on his arm for years like, congrats, you're temporarily sponsored by Anatomy DLC. And it wasn't a quick pit stop either. Complications, scheduling, staff shortages, then COVID. Dude's walking around like a medical waiting room with a plot twist. Imagine trying to explain that at TSA. No, it's not a weapon. Sir, it's a penis. Okay, but it's on my arm. The wild part is it's to keep blood flow solid, like a delicate houseplant you can't move yet, except it's your junk and it's waving at strangers. Hey, John, if your body could misplace one vital part and rehome it somewhere absurd, where's yours ending up? And why is it still there 6 years later?
Is that for real?
This is real. Malcolm McDonald, British mechanic, suffered a severe perennial infection that led to sepsis. As a result, it caused extreme tissue death in his extremities, including his fingers, his toes, and his penis, which turned black. So as a result, they had to construct a replacement phallus on his forearm using his own skin grafts and tissues. So he had.
So is that his fucking dick?
Yes.
They took his dick from down at his crotch and moved on his arm.
Yeah. So he lost his penis to sepsis, and they reconstructed a new phallus on his forearm, so it grew there. And then after a period of 4 to 6 times, after 4 to 6 years, John, it grew on his arm, and then in 2022 they moved it from his arm to his groin.
Oh, so that was basically just a place to get it to take.
Yeah. But as Neiman would say, why didn't they put it on his stomach or on his thigh or something? It's like you're walking around going, hey, John, what's on your arm?
My guess is because the forearm, there's all sorts of big fucking veins in there where it's going to get blood flow.
Yeah, and yes, maybe even access, but yeah,
on your stomach, there's not a lot of that tissue. You're not looking at big veins run down your stomach. That's where it form.
Yeah,
if you're lean, you can see them, but even if they're not lean, they can tap into that blood pretty easily. I imagine it's got I would assume it's everything to do with blood flow.
Yeah. Well, as Charlie says, on the leg at least. This is what I love, man, because you're such an expert on the human body. You just have an answer for it. No, it's on the arm because of this reason. Of course, it's on the arm for that reason.
Well, I mean, think this poor fucker. He doesn't want that thing sent on his form. That was probably what was necessary.
He's got a penis. So first of all, the horror of losing your penis to sepsis. A. And then B, hey, Dr. John, yes, I've lost my penis. Okay, well, we're going to grow you a new one on your arm. What?
Well, I imagine if you're thinking about life with no dick, and then you're given a single option, that single option sounds pretty fucking good.
That's the clip of the week. Petro, never mind the quote from our guest today. If you're having a life with no dick, and that's your option, that's the best one. No dick growing on my arm. I'll take the dick growing on my arm.
He would have probably taken it on his cheek if he had to.
Johnny, I love you, man. I'm so happy to see you here this morning.
This show is brought to you by John's burp.
Dude, what did it look like? I was covered in fucking freckles.
Oh my God, man. So funny, dude. Get out of here. Go get some rest. Go say hi to bed. Take care of yourself. We got Petro back in the lab tomorrow. It's Friday, brother.
Have a good loop, my brother.
You too. Johnny's out of here. I love it. The man we call the big dog, John Anderson, every single. Hey, Jimmy, you got a choice in life, no dick or dick growing on your arm. What are you choosing? Well, apparently, according to John, you're growing the dick on your arm. Yeah, that's exactly it. Prophecies from John Anderson this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Yeah, yesterday's broken peepees and now today's arm peepees. I can't. Hey, Whitaker, that's just how we roll here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. So let's see here, guys. So we learned today, nation, we've learned two things today. We've learned two big things today. If you're having a shit today and it's a big one, you might lose your memory. Yeah. Oh, and actually, as Petro said, so Petro put it down here though. He said the best though, and that's the entire point. You don't take a shit. You leave a shit. So guys, you might lose your memory today if you're going for a big dump. So Whitaker, go for a few light ones today. Not you, Cheryl. Dwayne. And then the second thing we learned is if you lose your dick, you can grow it on your arm. There you go. So nation, you will not find this kind of knowledge anywhere on the planet to start your day other than Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Number one, yes, if you lose your penis, you can grow it on your arm. And secondly, well, if you have a big shit, you might lose your memory. Yeah, there you go. Big news this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, dropping bombs every single morning right here live on the big show, the big network, mornings.network. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. All right, okay, I think I got something to say this morning on my monologue, and I figured the team's probably, I wonder if they're going to test me and keep dropping the seconds down. But guys, why have we suddenly turned hobbies into side hustles? Or have we accidentally turned hobbies into side hustles? I got something for you in 53 seconds.
We didn't lose hobbies. We converted them into proof. If it doesn't post, we treat it like wasted time. Play used to refill us. Performance drains us. When the hobby becomes content, the nervous system never clocks out. The lie is we're building something. Sometimes we're just avoiding feeling ordinary, so we keep producing instead of enjoying. The cost isn't abstract. It's short patience, shallow sleep, and constant irritability. Our partner and kids meet a version of us that's always on. Protect one thing from monetization. That isn't laziness. It's how we keep self-respect when everything else demands results. Choose a hobby where being bad is allowed. No audience, no metrics, no upgrade path. If it doesn't restore us, it's not a hobby. Keith's about to break down why this pressure feels normal. Then he'll show how to reclaim joy without quitting ambition. Morning begins here.
All right. So before I get into this one, I'm just got to get myself organized. And while I'm doing that, you guys have no clue what I'm doing right now because I'm getting myself super organized. So we all grew up in a world of hobbies, right? It was like, oh, why don't you go get yourself a hobby? Where the fuck did that go? Like, where did the hobby go? Who do you know today that actually has a hobby? Sheriff L. Whitaker, asking you that question. Who do you know that has a hobby? Yeah. Like, who do we know? Neiman, wait a minute. Neiman has a hobby? Hold the fucking horses here. Neiman, you're supposed to be working 80 hours a day at Mornings and Alive. You don't have time for fucking hobbies. So don't tell me that. So no, Neiman does not have a hobby. No. Who has hobbies? Like, what is a hobby in 2026? Right? I think hobby. Oh my God. Now Whitaker's telling me she has a fucking hobby. No. Oh, maybe I'm the one who's actually out to lunch on this one. Maybe it's me who's out to lunch on this whole idea of why we have actual hobbies. Well, or maybe we have accidentally turned hobbies into hustles. Is that what it is? It's like somewhere along the way we're going, okay, hobby, H word, to now hustle. Yeah. And I gotta wonder out loud here, is it breaking people? Not dramatically, but quietly. This one poor good idea at a time. Because listen, guys, you, me, not you ladies, Neiman and Cheryl, guys, joking aside, I feel like all of us used to have hobbies. My dad had hobbies, real hobbies, not like content categories, not brand extensions, not like this, oh, my hobby is I'm a monetization king. Yeah. Just things that you did because they made you feel alive. Think about that. Wow, is that ever a statement we do not hear anymore? Think about this, you guys. Think about what I'm saying right now. Let me just drop it for you to resonate. The idea of a hobby is actually doing something that you did because it made you feel alive. There's no purpose, not making money from it. Just, isn't hobbies wasting time? Like, I want to monetize my time. So when I see this, it's just things you did because they make you feel alive. So Whitaker paints, Neiman chases squirrels and pets turtles, right? It makes them feel alive, I guess. But work was work, play was play. And maybe that's for the person stuck in the 50-year job that's just miserable about it, where the hobby gives them purpose. I don't know. But then somewhere along the way, the line that we all live in, called the internet, got erased. Now everything that we do, it needs to produce. It needs to track. It needs to post. It needs to count. It needs content. It needs content. It needs content. It needs content. Everything seems to be fucking content. And then rest today has moved from a hobby now to a recovery protocol. We don't take walks. We don't take steps. No, we measure it. We don't even chill. We actually optimize. Think about this. And yet we think that we are improving our lives, but yet we're often just doing this. We're moving goalposts. So instead of burnout for work, it's called, I'm burned out from self-improvement. Instead of pressure from the job, it actually becomes this pressure from the calendar that you created for yourself. I like to call it, the hypocrisy of humanity, right? Instead of anxiety about money, it becomes anxiety about creating content to make the money. Can I just get the fucking hobby back, good time? I just want to do a hobby. Yeah, because doing it for fun, well, it just stops feeling legal. The second something is just enjoyable, we start trying to package it. Oh, look at OnlyFans. Hey, I like having sex. Oh, I know. Let's put a camera in front of it. It's fun. Let's package it up and sell it. Boom. There you go. Make it look good. Make it shareable. Make it measurable. Make it impressive. Make it work. And the irony with all of this, you guys, the irony with all of it, it's actually quite brutal. Yeah. Through the journey of moving hobbies to hustles, hobbies to side hustles, We've actually turned joy, Cheryl Whitaker, into a job. We took the Y out and put the B up, and now joy has become a job. And then we wonder why the joy feels like work. So somewhere along the way, we went from, okay, I'm going from hobby to now side hustle. I love my hobby. Wait a minute. How did my hobby now become a job? And why has my job now become work that I don't enjoy anymore? Somewhere, some guys, that person has ambition. We call it discipline here on the show, or we also call it standards. And sometimes it is, but sometimes it's also fear. Yeah, fear of being unimpressive, fear of being ordinary, fear of doing something badly, or fear of just seeing trying, or the fear of not keeping up with those imaginary people in your feed that are all turning their hobbies into side hustles going, yeah. Well, the performance economy, that performance economy that we watch, all these performative human beings, doesn't count. That performance economy is a lie. Think about that. That performance economy is completely a lie. Does the run count even if nobody saw it? Oh, the meal you ate today, does the meal count if you didn't track it? Oh, I'm not tracking my macros. Or if you didn't go on the trip, does it count if you didn't post it? Well, the hobby counts even if you're bad at it. Think about that for a second. I'm sure Cheryl Whitaker's really bad at her hobby. Not sure what it is. Oh, it's painting. But guess the thing. That's where the play lives. That's where the humility lives. That's where I'm sure some of Cheryl's most creative work comes from. That's where the connection lives. And that's where you do something with no goal beyond the presence that we've all seemed to have forgotten about, including me. Arms up. Yeah. And then when you're going through that life of hobbying, you maybe remember what it feels like to be alive without that audience. And I got to tell you guys, look around you. Look around you. Maybe that's why people are so tired, because it's rare for people to feel alive without an audience. Oh, I got to post for people to see. And as a matter of fact, because of that, nobody is ever off. Even fun seems to be on in 2026. You know, I had a meeting with somebody yesterday who's interested in doing some work with us. And I said to him, I asked him a question. I said, I don't want you to answer right now, and I do not want a predictable response. I said, I want you to create it while you're in a fun mode. Yeah, just fun and relax. Just all of a sudden, just get it out. True story. Because today's world of fun seems to be scripted, and it seems to be on. Because even downtime that we have has metrics. It seems like, oh, how long did I rest? How long did I recover? What was my sleep score? So here's the thing. What's the fucking point? The point? Not to quit everything. Not to be anti-success. And not to even mock your ambition or anybody's ambition out there. No, that's not the point of this monologue right now at all. It's actually, ambition is amazing. Look at Nick today, our guest. Nick, don't call me Omar Friedman. Yeah. I know, Neiman. I know I kept dropping it wrong. But that ambition that we have is amazing when it's rooted in love. It's rooted in vision. And it's rooted in service. But the point is to reclaim what is human, because men, women, all of us from the generation that we call X, and even my boomer friends like Whitaker, we don't just need discipline. We need a sanctuary. We need pockets of life that are not public. Yeah, moments with no scorecard, actions with no applause, and just being in the moment. Not narrating it, not photographing it, not videotaping it. Yeah, I said it. So, here's the challenge to all my brothers and sisters out there today. Maybe you might find something that you refuse to monetize. I can't do that. No, sorry. All right, I'm going to be a hypocrite right now. I'm going to give you guys something to think about, but I can't do it. No, maybe you find something you refuse to post. Maybe you find something you refuse to optimize, and then you're going to do it badly. Maybe you'll do it privately, but you're going to do it because it makes you laugh, or you're going to do it because it quiets your mind, or you're going to do it because it reminds you that not everything needs to be useful. Maybe you'll write a post today and not send it. Maybe you'll write a post today because it makes you feel good. Maybe you'll write a post today simply because your old hobby was writing with a pen, a pencil, and a piece of paper. And at some point, when you pick up that pen or paper and write something down, maybe it's also a reminder to you that sometimes words are just what they are, words on paper. And some point along the way in this journey of hobbies to side hustles, we forgot how to do something badly just because it made us happy. Think about that. If you're a bad writer, do it again. If you're a bad photographer, but you enjoy photography as a hobby, do it. Remember it. Don't postulate it. Don't perform it. Don't do it for the audience. Do it because it makes you happy. Happy, hobby. There's a common denominator, isn't there? Because that's not laziness, my friends. No, that's not laziness. Nope. It's actually called recovery, and we're not measuring it. No. Happiness. In the moment. That's recovery. That's sanity. And you know what, nation? That is a life.
We like to pretend our problems live out there in a bad market or a broken playbook. But the mirror doesn't lie, and neither does the data.
Today, we are cracking open the exact illusions keeping you stuck from the boardroom all the way to the bedroom.
It is raw, it is uncomfortable, and it is exactly what you need to hear. Let's get into it, Chief.
Thank you, Maya Reyes, going into the community. We got Cheryl Whitaker saying we got Good Time saying back in the day, our parents had hobbies to get out of the house and away from the kids. Yeah, true story. And then Charlie says, I did RC racing as a kid. Turned into more than a hobby. That's awesome. Oh yeah? Did you make some money from it? That's fucking awesome, dude. I love that. 100%. All right, guys, we're going to start the community corner with Maya Reyes and myself over in YouTube. The company you are in is just a mirror of your personal dysfunction. My team, our team, guys. The current environment is an exact psychological mirror of your internal operating habits, period. According to Wade Lowe, he recently broke this down on his Winston Francois channel, proving that a scaling company always takes the exact personality and flaws of its founder. Oh yeah, there you go. Let's be real. You don't need to run a $50 million enterprise to face this mirror. Look at your own life right now. If your project at work is in chaos, if your daily schedule is complete, hold on a second here. Team, I don't think we're in chaos. I don't think my life is in chaos. So I don't think my life's not in chaos. I don't think our work's in chaos. So I don't know if I fully agree with Wade Lowe here. Yeah, he talks that stop trying to manage the chaos out there and stop fixing the person running the show. Interesting. Maybe we got to get Wade on the show here and we could talk to our team. Listen, here's one thing I do know as an entrepreneur. Chaos is part of it. It's pulling levers, pushing levers, moving left and right and all over the place. But I'd like to think that, do I have flaws? 100%. Do we have flaws? 100%. But here's the thing. We work every single day to fix those operational messes and install good habits into the system. All right, over on Substack, the bedroom is where your worth goes to die. To all my men out there, is that what we're thinking this morning? Yeah? Well, listen, Dr. Heather England exposes toxic cultural playbook on Substack. I'm with you, Petro. Yeah, it does sound pretty bullshitty. I know I got my resident Petro bullshit professor. They're keeping us honest. 100%. Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Great mono, my friend. That's great. That's awesome. So, Dr. Heather England says the bedroom is often the only space where men allow themselves to feel chosen and enough. And when that gets shut down, they lose an emotional lifeline. So ladies, stop personalizing the shame. And men, scrap the locker room myths, right? Stop running the old broken playbook. Yeah. Interesting. Dr. Heather England. You should get her on the show. Hey, Maya. How many of our daily performance anxieties are just running a playbook that we never actually choose? my wrist.
Every single one of them, Chief. We repeat the reps of a bad playbook and wonder why the momentum feels fake. Whether you are choking your career growth because of your own ego or turning intimacy into a high-stakes performance review, the root cause is identical.
You are trying to win a game using rules someone else wrote for you. Think about that, boys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Whoa. Jimmy, are we done already? Holy smokes, man. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out. I know you guys have a choice. And when you guys, I get such joy when the show starts and I see you guys trickle into the room. I see you guys starting your day with Maddie. And then I see you guys trickle in here. And I know I say it sometimes, but I have such joy. I'm so grateful that we get to hang out together. 2 hours in the morning, spending our day, starting our day together. And like I've said this before, I'm building what I grew up with. I'm building what I think is missing on the planet. And I'm looking for people like myself and Cheryl and Maddie and I don't know about Dwayne, but Petro, Brianna. I'm looking for people like us that want to host conversations and create content, the kind of stuff that we grew up with. Because listen, guys, girls, we got a lot ahead of us, man. What do we got? 20, 30, 40 years ahead of us. We're just kind of halfway through life. And as you heard in my monologue yesterday, there's nobody making stuff for us at all. I don't know where it is. I haven't seen it, actually. I haven't seen it. So neither is Dwayne. So Dwayne's the only baby boomer here that we I know we're a show for Gen Xers, but we let Dwayne in. Guys, we love Dwayne, so we'll let Dwayne in the room because Dwayne's a pretty good guy. At least that's what I think anyway. I'm getting to know the guy. I love you, Wayne. Dwayne, you're awesome, man. Oh, Jimmy's got something for us. Jimmy, what do you got there, pal? Uh-oh. Oh my God. Jimmy, let's run it. Oh, we got Nation. We got something crazy here. This is okay. As we walk out of the lab here this morning, I'm going to play the tunes. Okay. Look at this one. Since we're talking penises. Yes. Dwayne, ears up on this one. You're my... Yes, Dwayne's my token baby boomer. That's exactly it. Well, Dwayne, ears up, man. The world's first successful penis transplant. Yeah, South African man. He became a father just months after life-changing surgery. Petro, this is not bullshit. No, I got something here. 2024, 21-year-old South African man after a botched ritual circumcision. With full urinary and sexual functions restored in 3 months. Yeah, so they botched his circumcision, but then they fixed it, and then in 3 months the guy was able to have a kid. Oh man, yeah. It's a transplant of his penis, and I'm oh my God, man, I'm just yeah. Anyways, that's a conversation for another day. Men, keep your penises in your pants. Yes, because holy smokes, in South Africa, over 100 deaths annually, apparently, because of genital injuries. Man. Yes, Cheryl, another happy penis story on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and Friends. 100 motherfucking%. Okay, I got to get out of here. I always promised myself this, and I like to teach yes, I said teach. I like to teach all the people that I'm working with. If we're talking for the sake of talking, we're just talking. It's time to go. So it's time to go. Nation, I love you guys. True story. LOVE from me to you. Have a great one, guys. We'll see you guys. Petro's with us tomorrow. Oh, I'm going to get shit if I don't read this out here tomorrow. Tomorrow, we got Dr. Marshall Porterfield. Yes. I'm going to get shit if I don't tell you guys. Believe me, when the show's over, we all convene in the studio. And if I don't get after some marks, I hear about it, especially from our shitmaster herself, Kai. So, hey, tomorrow, Dr. D. Marshall Porterfield, he's bringing us from NASA labs to mushroom hydroponics, from Gene Lab to Artemis 3, and from space biology to the future of food, medicine, and survival. Dude, we're talking mushrooms in space. We're talking biotech on Earth. We're talking China pushing ahead in biogenerative life. We're talking fucking science fiction. Petra, we're going to have a fun one tomorrow, man. We got Dr. Marshall Porterfield. We got Dr. John Petrocelli. We got the Dr. Handsome Hunkle Chief himself, Keith Billis. And, of course, John Anderson. And all of you tomorrow on Mornings in the Lab at 8 o'clock. Of course, 7:30 with Matt Roof. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Nation. Have a good one.